Okay, welcome everyone. In the last few lectures, we are talking about the functions. Almost we have finished all the functions. The last one is remaining, that's called a conditional function. Now, what is a conditional function? Conditional function is nothing but same like sometime we want to perform if then else. That if this is the value, then this value should be this value should be shown or else something else. So actually SQL statement does not allow the if then statement. For that purpose, we have a certain functions and that function can give us the same requirement output what we need with a if then else statement. So first function in the conditional function series is a nothing but decode. What's a decode? Decode is nothing but same like a if then else, can accept n number of expressions, can accept a n number of expression. First expression is for comparison matched with next expression. Then one example here, A compared with B. If A equal to B is true, then return the C. Simple understand. A compared with B, if match, return the C. If does not match, it will compare with the next pair. A will compare with D. If match, return the E. Otherwise, the last single value considered as a default value. That will be returned only if it does not match with any of the pair. Very simple here. See the example here. Select name. Name is a column. Decode. Then in bracket, we have given certain values. Marks 50, okay, 70, good, 80, best, fail. So what are we comparing here? We are comparing the marks. Marks compared with 50. If match, return the okay. If does not match with 50, it will compare with 70. If match, return the good. Otherwise, it will compare with 80 and match, return the best. If does not compare with 50, 70 or 80, result will be the fail. So simply what are we saying here? We are not returning the marks. We are returning based on the marks, let's say the grade. So that's why this help you in a decoding a particular things, that if this, then this. If this, then this. Okay, understand with a real-time example here. So here, let's say I say select star from wallet. Let's say this is our table. And in this table, we have a certain values. Okay, we have a certain values here. In this values, let's say we want to compare the age. Okay, if anybody's age is 25, result should be the young. If anybody's age is 38, let's say, then should be the mid age. If anybody's age is 50, then it should be the senior citizen. Clear? So now, how do I write a query for that? So let's say I say the select name. I want a name also, age, correct? Plus I want their status. So I'll say decode. Clear? In the decode, what are we comparing? We compare the age. We are comparing with 25. If it match with 25, we want to say that young. If it is not matching with 25, we are comparing with 38. And we say that he is a mid age. And then I'm comparing it with 50. And I say here, senior citizen. If it is not matching any of them, now I have to provide one default value. And that default value I say here, not applicable. Okay. So this input we have given. And we give the column name as this. From our table Bollywood. Let's say I execute this now. You will see it's a 50, so we got a senior citizen. 38, mid-age. 18 is none of our value. 25, 38, 50. So it says not applicable. Is it clear? So decode is a very simple to understand. It is just used for placing a different value at the place of a different value. Clear? That's a decode. I'm sure there no doubt is remaining here. So simply very often we want to perform if statement in select and replace one value with another. So spatially decode is used for replacing one value with another. Now in here, you will notice one thing that all the values are compared exactly. Exactly means what? With equal to operator. We cannot say that all people less than 25 are young. All people between 26 to 38 are mid-age. All people who are 50 or above 50 are a senior citizen. Because decode always compare only with a equal to operator. So for that purpose, there's a one more function is called as a case. That's called a case statement. You can use a case statement in a query to perform your required requirement. Now in the case also we have two types of case. One is a simple case. Simple case expression exactly work same like a decode. And second is called a searched case expression. Searched case expression, you are allowed to provide your own operator to comparison. You can compare according to your own requirement and you can get a result for that. So how to write a case expression? It's very simple. Many of you are already aware about the case expression. So here, how to write it? So simply, first we'll talk about a simple case expression. Okay, let's go here. Now let's say, as I told you, simple case expression exactly works same like a decode. Okay, look at the result, what we had here. Same result we will get with the help of case. We'll say select name, age, case. Now, in the case, when we talk about a simple case expression, here you have to give a simple case expression with the case. Now my case expression is a age. So we'll say age. Then you have to use a when and then pair. When 25 then young. When 38, then mid-age. When 50, then you can say that it's a senior citizen. Now, when you're starting with case, you can add n number of when and then pairs. So just making this end, you have to use a keyword end. Okay. Before ending end, you can use a else part as well. We have else part also, and this is else part. So we'll say else not applicable end. Then give a column name status from what. Now let's say let's execute this. Same result. Whether I execute this or I execute this. Very simple here. So we got the same result with the help of decode and the same result with the help of case. Correct? But again, you will see that here case is also comparing with equal to operator. I'm sorry. Now, what if I want a range as a young, a range as a mid-age, a range as a senior citizen? So for that purpose, we can go for the search case expression. It's exactly the same. Only difference is here we do not provide case expression. Case expression is provided with when. Okay, so let's write it here. Select name, age, and I'm writing a case. Now, what is our requirement? Anybody equal to or less than 25 must be a young. So we can say case, instead of using the case expression here, we can use it directly when age less than equal to 25, then we can say here young. Simple. Same way, we can say when age between 26 and 38, 37. Then it's a mid-age. I hope you understood the difference here. Here, you are not allowed to give a condition. It's by default equal to. But here now you are allowed to give a expression operator of your own that is less than equal to or between, or we can use one thing else when age greater than 38, then he is a senior citizen. Then he is a senior citizen. Same way here, end and give a column name status from Bollywood. Now, if I execute this, you will see that greater than 38. That's why it is a null. So we don't have anything for this. So we can say greater than equal to 38. Senior citizen, young, all are here. So I hope you understood that what's the difference between the simple case and the searched case expression. Yeah. So simple case is just comparing equal to operator. In the searched case, you are allowed to give your own operators. Yeah. Let's move ahead. Now, how to write that? We have taken a real-time example. Now, let's answer me this some questions. Okay, so I think this will skip. Now, till now, whatever the function we have been discussed, those functions were single row function. That means they take an input from a single row and return the result from a single row. Very simple. Now we'll talk about the multi-row functions. Multi-row function is also called as group function. Multi-row function is also called as a group functions. Whether it's a group function, multi-row function, or aggregate function, meaning is the same. Simple here. And by looking at this, I'm sure that all of you have heard the name of these functions: sum, average, count, max, min. So important point about the multi-row function is it take a input from multiple rows and return as a one result as a group result. Simple here. That's why it is called as a multi-row function. Now, in multi-row function, there are certain things which you have to keep in mind. That first, it can be used with a two parameters, all or distinct. What's the meaning of all and distinct? You have a, let's say, 10 rows available from where you are taking the input. When it is all, it will take all the available values and perform the action according to the function. But when you use a keyword distinct, it will choose only the distinct value and perform the action. Better we can go step by step practically also. And here, I'll remove all these things now and just keep the select star from this. Okay, I'm executing the records from the Bollywood. Okay, now we can see that we have a certain things called as a salary. Okay, so I want a sum of salary. So I say select sum of salary. Now here, along with the salary, I can use all or distinct. If I'm not choosing anything, by default, it is a all. If I'm not choosing anything, by default, it is a all. And I say from college. We got a result 78,000. This 78,000 is nothing but a total of all the salaries, correct? But now I'm using a distinct. Now the result is not a 78,000, it's a 38,000. Why is that so? Distinct always choose a distinct value. Now here, if you see, we have a 5,000 multiple times, so has been considered only once. 2,000 multiple times only for once. 20,000 for multiple times only once. That's why the result is 38,000. Simple. So first rule, that it always used with the two parameters, one all and one is distinct. By default, it is a all. By default, it is a all. Clear? Second rule, all the functions which are group function or a multi-row function exclude the null value. I'll repeat once again. All the function which are group function exclude the null value except count star. Except count star. Okay, what is the meaning of that? Let's say, come here. Okay, try to sum it manually and see the result. Okay, I'm removing the distinct from here. 10,000 plus 5,000, 15,000. 15 plus 20, 55,000. 55,000 plus null. When you add anything with the null, let's say I'm saying here, select 55,000 plus null from 12. What will be the result? Null. Because any operation with the null value return the null. So here it becomes the null. Null plus 5, null, 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 everything will become the null. But are we getting the null value here? No, we get a 78,000. Reason? It always excludes the null value. Simple. So second rule of aggregate function is it excludes the null value. So simply you have to remember only these two things important to using the aggregate function. Now second thing, next thing. When you use an aggregate function with any of the column, that column becomes the group column instead of individual columns. For an example, let's say I'm saying select sum of salary. This 78,000, what result I'm getting is not an individual row, it's a group of result of all the rows. So now this column has become a group column, and you cannot use a group column along with an individual column. Now I'm using the name without any function, but this name is now individual column, and this sum of salary is a group column. So single column and group column is not allowed together in a select statement. Very clear? This is the fourth rule you have to remember while using the aggregate functions. Clear here? So important was understanding the rules. Now we'll talk about the what does the function does. I'm sure everybody knows this, but still we'll go by one-liners. Sum, summation, average is return the average. Now simply, if I say here select, I have to remove this. I have to say average. It will add all, result will be 78,000 divided by number of rows from where it has taken the result. So it's a 6,500 is average. Simple. So average is returning the average. Then we have, okay, First of all, sum and average works on numbers. They works always on a numbers. Then we have a count. Okay, we'll go the sequence wise. Count, correct. Now in the count, we have two counts. One is a count star and one is a count expression. What's the difference? Count star is the only function which include the null value. Count star include the null value, whereas count expression exclude the null value. Okay, let's understand with the example here. We can say this is our table. How many rows we have here? 14. So now I'll say here count. With the count, I have provided an expression of salary. So result is not 14, it's a 12. Reason? There are the two places where we don't have a value and null is always excluded. So count is only for where you have a value. That's a count expression. Or I can say here count star. Count star is including the null. So we are getting entire number of rows. Count of a entire rows. That's why it is a count star. Clear? Count star works on all data types. After the count star and count expression, we have a min and max. Max and min. Everybody know what the max and min is? Max and min is nothing but return the maximum value from the set of value, and min return the minimum value from the set of value. Now for an example, I'll say here max of salary. Maximum salary is a 25 or 20,000. If I use a min, we'll get a minimum salary, and that is a 1,000. Min and max works on all three data types, that is date, character, and number. Okay, so it is valid for all three kinds of data types. Okay, so simply we can say with this, we have finished all the function parts. So in the next lecture, we'll talk about all important things like group by and having, subqueries, and joins. Okay, till that, you can repeat this lecture if you want, and we'll meet again in the next lecture.